about a miracle.
Hi. I want to thank you for contacting Miracle Ear to learn more about your hearing and to discover how Miracle Ear may enable you to put real enjoyment back into your life. Because that's what happens when you open your ears to the wonderful sounds you've been missing. First, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Miracle Ear. We're an American company, founded by Kenneth Dahlberg, a genuine American World War II flying ace, a holder of the Distinguished Flying Cross who shot down 15 enemy planes and was himself shot down 3 times. After the war, Ken came back to Golden Valley, Minnesota to invent the very first in-the-ear hearing aid in the mid-1950s. So you came to the right people for help. People who have been helping Americans hear better for almost half a century. Like most folks watching this tape, you probably realize that you have some level of hearing loss. The chances are your feelings aren't much different than the man you're about to hear.
I hated the idea of wearing a hearing aid. Maybe my hearing wasn't what it used to be, but I wasn't ready for a hearing aid. I always thought they were for older people. The only problem I had was that it sounded like everybody mumbled all the time.
He just didn't realize how bad it was. He'd turn up the TV so loud you could hardly think. He never wanted to talk on the phone. He wouldn't hear the front doorbell. And if I shouted to him from another room, he wouldn't respond. Worse, he was always asking people to repeat themselves over and over again. But to hear him tell it, he didn't have a hearing problem. Not him.
Well, it wasn't that I couldn't hear. I just couldn't hear clearly. I'd miss some of the words and sounds. I even found myself reading lips sometimes. But I didn't think it was bad enough to do anything about it.
The fact is, there are over 26 million people in this country with hearing problems. That's 1 out of every 10 Americans. Men, women, people of all ages, even children. And a lot of them don't take it seriously at first. You see, most hearing loss occurs gradually. It doesn't usually happen suddenly. And it doesn't result in total hearing loss. Often the first person to notice how bad the problem is isn't you. It's someone in your family, a good friend, or people you work with. It becomes a problem to those around you long before it becomes your problem. Let's take a couple of minutes to get some idea just what kind of problem you have. I'm going to give you a short test. Ask yourself how frequently these statements apply to you, and be honest. You have trouble following the conversation if 2 or more people are talking at the same time. You're often accused, even jokingly, of hearing only what you want to hear. People often complain that you turn up the radio or TV too loud.
We never realized how loud the television was until our granddaughter spent the night.
Grandma, I can't sleep. The television's too loud.
You often have to turn your head to hear what people say. You frequently have to ask people to repeat themselves, or have someone else repeat what was said.
You don't have to leave early.
I'm sorry, but I couldn't stand the thought of sitting through the rest of that movie. Every 5 minutes you're asking, what did he say? What did he say?
You spent part of your life working in a noisy environment. You miss hearing the sound of the phone or doorbell ringing.
My daughter and husband were returning from a shopping trip. I was getting more and more worried.
We tried calling you to tell you we were running late. There was no answer. She hadn't heard the phone ring.
You avoid social activities because you can't hear well, and you fear that you'll reply improperly. You have more trouble understanding women and children's voices than you do men's voices.
When my boss asked me what I thought about her speech, well, I was too embarrassed to tell her that I hadn't heard most of it, even though I was standing just a few feet away.
You have problems hearing over the phone. People get annoyed because you misunderstand what they say. People you talk to seem to mumble, or they don't speak clearly.
Would you like soup or salad?
Well, she practically shouted at me. Pardon me?
Soup or salad?
I'll have the soup.
Finally, people close to you are convinced that you have a hearing problem. These are all signs of hearing impairment. If even a few of these statements apply to you on a fairly frequent basis, it may be time for you to take the first step, and that means having a hearing test conducted by a professional, someone trained to know what he or she is doing.
In my case, my wife decided to do something about it.
I heard a commercial for Miracle Ear. They said they'd give Charlie a free hearing test to see if he could be helped.
She called for an appointment. And to be honest with you, we both learned a lot. Now, I wasn't thrilled about the idea of taking a test. I didn't like tests when I was in school. But this one didn't require any studying. It was easy.
Right. This is not a medical exam. It's a hearing evaluation, conducted very professionally and very thoroughly. Most people like Charlie find it to be a pleasant, fascinating experience.
They certainly made us feel welcome. And we were both impressed with the sophisticated testing equipment and how knowledgeable, friendly, and helpful our consultant was. There was never any high pressure, which we really appreciated.
Your Miracle Ear consultant is concerned about one thing, your hearing. They're hearing aid specialists, thoroughly trained in the science of conducting audiometric tests and extensively trained in modern fitting techniques and quality dispensing. Many Miracle Ear consultants have had years of experience working with people with hearing loss, and it shows. You'll get an accurate evaluation, which will help you determine what your next steps should be and whether a hearing aid might be the answer. Let's walk through the test. First of all, you'll be asked some simple questions about your hearing. Your answers will be important. Your ears will be checked with an otoscope to see if your problem is as simple as impacted earwax, which can interfere with your ability to hear. Or your consultant might note other conditions, which may be treatable by a doctor. Then you'll put on a pair of earphones, and in many locations, sit in a comfortable soundproof booth. Listening to an audiometer, you'll hear different tones and be asked to repeat simple 1- or 2-syllable words played at different sound levels. When you're through, your consultant will show you the results charted on an audiogram and review your speech discrimination scores with you. In simple words, you'll discover which frequencies you're having problems with, high or low-pitched sounds, and whether you need a lot of amplification or a little. You'll also learn what effect your hearing loss has on your ability to understand speech, and what levels of volume give you comfortable hearing. If you don't need amplification yet, your Miracle Ear consultant will tell you that your problem isn't severe enough to warrant a hearing aid at this time, but you'll have a record for future use. By the way, if you can't get to a Miracle Ear center, in many states the test can be given in your home.
As I said, the test was easy and a lot more interesting than an eye exam. Truth is, I enjoyed it. It was definitely more thorough than I expected, and as valuable as it was, I found it hard to believe that it didn't cost me anything.
Your Miracle Ear consultant will review every aspect of the test with you and answer all your questions, even explain what causes hearing loss. You'll learn that hair cells in your inner ear can be damaged by noise, illness, age, even birth defects, making them incapable of processing certain sounds to your brain. Some come through loud and clear. Others are muffled or deadened. It's called nerve deafness. Miracle Ear hearing aids amplify sound waves, increasing their intensity. This provides increased stimulation to the nerve cells so that the muted, imperfect sounds come through more clearly. Hearing becomes easier. If your test shows that a hearing aid may help you, we'll show you all the available options suitable for your loss in terms of style, price, and features. You'll see a complete line of hearing aids like these that fit behind your ear, as well as in your ear. And you'll discover miniature aids, the kind that Miracle Ear is famous for, the ones that fit in your ear canal. You'll be glad to know that Miracle Ear consultants specialize in fitting these tiny custom-fit hearing aids. We pride ourselves on offering some of the most sophisticated hearing aids available, including programmable hearing aids, soft canal hearing aids, and this completely in-the-canal hearing aid, which is so tiny it's virtually invisible. You'll see a wide variety of other hearing aids designed to meet every budget, some at surprisingly low prices. They're all top-quality hearing instruments, but with different warranties and circuitries. We'll tell you all the advantages and disadvantages of each, and we'll recommend the type best suited to your needs.
My test results showed that a hearing aid could help me, and in my case, I really wanted one of those tiny ones that almost disappear into the canal. And I guess I was living right, because it turned out that I could wear one.
The consultant let Charlie listen to something called a master hearing aid, so he'd get some sense of what it would be like wearing a hearing aid.
Wow, it really made a difference. All of a sudden, I could hear words that I hadn't heard in years.
Of course, hearing aids aren't for everyone, and they don't restore natural hearing. Your experience with hearing aids depends on the severity of your hearing loss, accuracy of the evaluation, and the proper fit. Miracle Ear, however, has helped millions of people hear better, and they guarantee your satisfaction. Take a look at the Miracle Ear guarantee. Miracle Ear offers you better hearing, backed by the industry's only nationwide guarantee of satisfaction. To make sure that you enjoy the maximum benefits from your hearing aid, Your complete history and test results are forwarded to the Miracle Ear Laboratory along with an impression of your ear. Here, everything is computer analyzed to select the exact circuitry needed for your hearing problem. The in-the-ear hearing aids are custom designed for your ear and your ear only to help you hear better. Can we do the same for everyone? Of course not. But listen to what some Miracle Ear users have to say about their experience with Miracle Ear and how Miracle Ear has helped them to hear better.
The quality of my life has changed significantly using Miracle Ear, no question about it. The people around me don't have to talk so loud. I can watch TV without inconveniencing those people around me. Those people that I work with are not inconvenienced by having to raise their voices. It's changed my life dramatically.
The Miracle Ear that I have, the small one, is good because I can use the telephone and it does not interfere with it. It's not obvious to other people. It's a very comfortable piece of equipment to wear. It's been great. I've been able to hear and pick up a lot of the conversations I hadn't in the past.
Miracle Ear has opened a lot of new doors. I was real surprised how loud everything is. I used to be afraid of getting in groups of people because I could hear noises, but I couldn't make out what they'd said. So using the Miracle Ear product has helped me hear clearer. And I'm not afraid to go in groups of people. I'm not afraid to sit in the classroom. So everything has changed. And with the Miracle Ear product, I could hear all sorts of things.
Miracle Ear has backed up everything that they've claimed for me. It was just a natural thing. That's what I wanted. I wanted a small hearing aid that fit inside my ear. And I tell you, it's worked. They've just done an excellent job. I think that they get an A in the industry.
And I had been around aircraft for 41 years, so it gives you an idea. With all that noise, my high-pitched hearing is virtually zero. But with Miracle Ear, I've had no problem. I have found a whole new world out there that I didn't know prior to this.
You miss a lot out of your family, and that's a sad thing to go through life, missing what they have to say. And now, I don't have that problem. I've conquered that, and I'm very proud of it. I really am. I'm wearing a Miracle Ear, and I will say I just love it.
I didn't really notice that I had a hearing problem until other people started telling me I did. I think the Miracle Ear has helped me, of course, at work, with the telephone, in meetings, talking to people all day long, people coming in and out of the office. Yeah, it's quite an advancement. It's amazing. They can pack so much electronics in such a small area like that, and work so well. It's just amazing.
Isn't it about time that you called Miracle Ear for an appointment? Read the enclosed booklet and check for your nearest local Miracle Ear dealer. If you can't come in for an appointment, we'll come to you. For most people, all it takes is one simple phone call.
I know Miracle Ear changed my life.
In fact, it changed both of our lives.
Now, I enjoy conversation with friends, and I don't have to constantly ask people to repeat themselves.
And the neighbors no longer complain that the TV is too loud.
And if we ever move, or if my hearing aid needs servicing while we're on vacation, it's nice to know that Miracle Ear has over 1,000 service centers nationwide.
Many of them in Sears and Montgomery Ward stores.
Over 1,000 centers. That's another Miracle Ear benefit no one else has.
It's up to you. You're the one to decide. If your decision is to wait until your hearing gets worse, you may miss out on a lot of life's pleasures while you're waiting. But if you want to enjoy the sounds of life to their fullest, call now. Don't pass up the opportunity to receive a free hearing test. You have absolutely nothing to lose except the fear of being left out of conversations. The good people at Miracle Ear are waiting for your call. Do yourself and the people around you a favor. Call Miracle Ear today. Thank you for watching. Miracle Ear is a Bausch Lomb company. Bausch Lomb, serving America's health needs since 1853.
Talk about a miracle.